The Liberal government seems to be in some sort of a rush right now, but then you can imagine, based on so much of negative sentiment that's there in the market, that this was bound to happen, because we are now seeing a spate of changes in the Canadian immigration process. The latest one has actually gotten a lot of people in a tizzy. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the latest suspension of the public policy which allowed visitors in Canada to apply for an online application for a work permit. Now, this provision was given during the COVID, where visitors who are in Canada were allowed to apply for a work permit in Canada from inside Canada in an online application, provided they also had a valid job offer. This probably has been one of the most abused and misinterpreted public policy, whereby the agents, unscrupulous agents across the world, have used this to show their potential clients that if you can get a visit visa to Canada, you will get a work permit. A lot of people, scores of people came to Canada thinking that because they are a visitor in Canada, they will be able to get a work permit, only to realize that's not true. Of course, being duped out of thousands and thousands of dollars in the process. However, this policy also meant that a lot of people would arrive in Canada as visitors and then, of course, look for opportunities to stay back because they could get LMIAs and then they could get their work permits, and therefore creating a lot of people in Canada who basically didn't visit Canada as visitors but wanted to actually stay put as workers and then permanent residents and so on and so forth. You know the drill, right? However, now effective immediately, today being the 28th of August, this public policy no longer is in effect. So therefore, if you are inside Canada as a visitor, you can no longer make an application for a work permit, online application. But this is where the catch is. Now, you can no longer make an application online. However, you can still flagpole. That loophole, that door is still open for people who want to, of course, use it or do whatever they have to. Go to the land border to the US side, get a refusal if you don't have the US visa, come back to Canada, and then once you present yourself at the Canadian port of entry, you can then make an application for work permit. Now, the legal routes for this particular section is under section 193F and under section 198(1). This is the legal route from where the provision for flagpoling to apply for a work permit, even if you are inside Canada or a visitor, comes from. And that loophole is yet to be closed. And until that happens, people will still continue to do what they wish to do with this policy of coming to Canada as a visitor and then applying. But in the meantime, it's a good news, at least, because now people outside Canada cannot be duped into something like this. And hopefully we will see much more changes coming which are beneficial for the Canadian immigration in its entirety.